Hey guys, we are going to start on our backs today. So come on down and we're going to come into happy baby. So bending your knees, bringing up your feet and taking your hands inside of your knees and your hands to the out, grab onto the outsides of your feet. And if this is too deep for you and too tight, you can just grab onto your knees and come to where it feels comfortable. And we're going to come into our yoga bicycles. That is opposite elbow to opposite knee. So that's 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back into happy baby. Now next is going to be our single leg crow crunches. So we're going to take our arms and legs long and crunching up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming down and bringing your knees into your chest and just giving yourself a little rock. Then coming up, crossing your legs and coming over and stepping back, coming into your downward facing dog. Now we're going to inhale, coming forward into high plank, taking your shoulders a bit past your wrists and dropping your hips. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, lift your hips back into downward facing dog. And again, rolling forward, taking your shoulders a bit past your wrists, dropping your hips. Inhale. Exhale, lifting your hips into downward facing dog. One more time. Roll forward, taking your shoulders a little bit forward. Inhale, drop your hips. Inhale. Exhale into downward facing dog. Now I'm going to step or jump forward into your Malasana squat. If your heels don't touch the ground here, that's completely fine. Just maybe do a little bit of movement, rocking side to side. If your heels can touch the ground, that's great. Now we're going to put our hands onto the ground, pressing into the ground, lifting our hips by pushing our hands into the ground. And do that 4 more times. So 4, pushing into the ground. 3, 2, and 1. Lift your hips and coming back down. Now jump or step back into your high plank chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, coming down into your downward facing dog. Taking a nice few deep breaths here. Inhale, right leg into the air, right knee through in between your hands, coming up into warrior 1, dropping that back foot on the 45 degree. Exhale, bringing your hands down to the ground and coming up and lifting your left leg, pulsing for 2 more, and coming back into your high lunge. Inhale, exhale, hands down, stepping back into high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, coming back into your downward facing dog. On the other side, left leg into the air, through, dropping that back foot on the 45, coming up into your warrior 1. Inhale, exhale, hands to the ground, lift that back leg and pulsing it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and an extra one. Hold. Coming back up into your high lunge. Exhale, down, stepping back, high plank, low plank. Up, in, upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg into the air, stepping it through, coming back into your warrior one. Inhale, arms up. Come stepping forward into your tree pose. Taking that foot where you feel comfortable. If you can take your left foot up onto your right hip, that's great. Now crossing your left leg over, taking your left arm underneath your right arm, coming into squatting down into your Garudasana, eagle pose. Elbows coming up to shoulder height, sinking into your hips, lifting that left leg, shooting back into a warrior three pose, lifting that left leg, unwinding your hands, taking the way you feel comfortable, either at your heart, out to the side, or back behind you, and stepping back. Inhale, arms up into a high lunge. Exhale, hands to the ground, coming down to your right side into your Skandasana. If your right heel doesn't touch the ground, that's fine. Having your left leg straight and pointing up. Your toes pointing up. Now, inhale, coming up and coming over onto the left side. If you need your hands to lift yourself up off the ground, that is completely fine. Try doing it with no hands though. And back to the other side. And then hands to the ground, pivoting to the front, coming into a nice low lunge, drawing those two inner thighs together. Exhale, hands down, stepping your feet back, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale into your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg into the air, stepping your left foot through, coming up into your warrior one. Putting the weight into the front foot, stepping your right foot forward, coming up into your tree pose, taking that right ankle onto the left hip if you can. Crossing your right foot over your left leg, taking your right elbow underneath your left, clasping your hands and dropping down into your Garudasana eagle pose. Tailbone is tucked, shoulder blades drawing down your back. Your elbows are pulling up to shoulder height and taking that right leg back, coming into your warrior three, undoing your arms. Lift that back leg. And stepping back, coming up into a high lunge, taking your hands on the inside of the left foot, coming down into Skandasana on the left side. Again, if your left heel can't touch the ground, that is fine. Inhale, coming up and dropping into the right side. If you need your hands on the ground for this, that's completely fine. Inhale, coming up, back onto the left side. Placing the hands onto the ground, pivoting to the front of the mat, coming into your low lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the ground, lifting that back foot, stepping back, high plank. Exhale into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, lift your hips into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg into the air. Exhale, stepping it through, coming up into your warrior two. Now coming down, placing your hand on the inside of your foot and coming into your side angle. If you need to put your right elbow resting on your right knee, that is fine. If you can take your left hand behind you, if your right hand can grab onto it without folding your chest forward, open up into your bind. And placing your right hand back down, dropping your back knee, and taking your right foot out to come into lizard. Taking it as wide as the mat, dropping the knee out and the foot onto the blade of the foot. Open up into a nice deep stretch. And coming down lower if you're able to, if it's not too deep for you. Inhale, coming up. Taking that front foot back, slower into chaturanga, up dog, and coming back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg into the air. Coming steps through in between the hands, the right foot on a 90 degree, coming up into your warrior two. Bringing that left hand either to rest on your knee or on the inside of your left foot and coming into your side angle. If that right hand can come behind your back, if your left hand can come up to reach it, open up through the chest, feeling that nice stretch through the chest. And releasing the hands down onto the ground, spinning to the front of the mat, taking your left foot out wide, opening up the knee into lizard lunge. Feeling that nice opening stretch. And coming down, releasing down onto the ground if you're able to. Inhale, coming up, stepping that left foot back, high lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Now taking the right foot to the outside as lizard lunge and heel toe in front of your right arm so it's hooked around. Lean forward onto your right hands and lift your back leg to flying lizard. And lowering that left foot, unhooking your right foot, stepping back into upward facing dog and coming back into child's pose. Coming back up into downward facing dog, taking your left foot into lizard, heel toeing it around the front of your left arm, hooking it around, leaning forward onto, sort yourself out, line yourself up properly, leaning forward and lifting that right foot into the air, into flying lizard onto the right side, then unhooking your left foot, coming into upward facing dog and exhaling back into child's pose. And coming forward to lay down onto your belly. Taking your hands down by your side, palms facing up. Now linking your hands behind your back if you're able to, or taking a strap and lifting up with your hands, pulling up your chest, pulling your crown of your head forward and releasing down. And coming up into pristhasana, so taking your legs directly at 90 degree angles and turn to face the back foot in the direction of the back foot. Now switching sides, legs directly at 90 degree angles, turning to face the back of the mat, and release. And I hope you enjoyed today. Namaste.